Henry Farnum was a possible Civil War soldier born in Londonderry, Vermont in 1835. He lived next to the Londonderry Cemetery with his parents and sister Lucy. It's likely that Farnum and his family were religious like many other soldiers and their families were at the time. As Farnum grew up, he attended school in one little classroom that learned about the Bible and other basic education to different grade levels all at one time. During the time of the Civil War, there were 13 schools in Henry's area. Because there weren't many buildings, which made small amounts of jobs available during the 1850s and 60s, farming was a big part of the community that Mr. Farnum would leave behind for the war. This means that he was probably a farmer. Also because of this, people in the community, including Farnum, would mainly attain their necessities by trading with a vendor who would go door to door. 3 months into the war, Farnum moved to New Hampshire with the Fuller family. A month later, Farnum married Maria E. Woods, who was from that area. After their marriage, they moved back to Henry's hometown a year after the war started. After Henry's death, his widow remarried, but is now buried beside Henry in the Riverside Cemetery, along with their daughter, Ada Maria, who died when she was 6 years old. In 1864, Henry also had a son named Willie. He was born a year before the war ended. But how would these things be possible if Farnum was in the war? Farnum's unit is unknown, but there was a GAR marker on his grave. GAR stands for Grand Army of the Republic. It was one of the most powerful among the various post-Civil War organizations that was only open to men who had fought in the Civil War. Henry's grave also states that he was a Civil War veteran, but there are no records of Henry being in the GAR or the Civil War. In the war, people were leaving their families for working on drills in bad weather, eating low-quality food, and risking their lives. But why would he go to war if all these long, tedious days were going to be waiting for him? It could be because he was interested in fighting, or making others' rights equal, but he wouldn't know how long he would be away. So there would be no way to tell how long he would be away from his family, or if he would ever see them again. The only way he could get out of the war was to pay a $300 fine, which is unlikely he did because it was nearly a 2 years' worth of money from the average worker at the time. Farnum is a mystery to Civil War history. Even though he's classified as a Civil War veteran in the GAR, there aren't any documents that would support he was. And the background information about his location, wife, and children during the war supports the theory that he wasn't a veteran. Henry died on July 19, 1874, at the age of 35 as a Civil War veteran, but now it's questioned if this was the case.